What the hell am I looking at? The Sacramento A's have just given Luis Severino $67 million, and they intend to bump their payroll into the 100 millions soon. I don't know what I'm looking at here. However, what I do want to talk about is the $67 million to Luis Severino, and on top of that, I'd like to talk about other starting pitching because we are currently sitting in pitchflation. All right, there's inflation on like the food and stuff. There's hoflation on the women that we want. And now on top of that, guess what? There's pitchflation too. If you want pitching on your team, you got to pay for it. We can go over here and just look at it. This is ESPN's list of signees already. You're going to see Matt Boyd got about $15 million annually. Matt Boyd, who pitched 80 innings this year. You'll see Frankie Montas got $17 million a year. Again, Frankie Montas wasn't that good this year. Frankie Montas split time between two teams in 2024 and had a 4.84 ERA and 30 starts. That's 150 innings at a 4.84 ERA total. When he went to Milwaukee, he was better, not a lot better. 4.55 ERA doesn't necessarily scream great, but he's had good seasons in the past, obviously. 2021 Oakland, you'd see a 3.37 ERA, across 187 innings. And that's good starting pitcher production. However, that was 2021. And since then, he's continually gotten injured. He got traded to the Yankees. He only pitched 39 innings. He was hurt. And then, obviously, he comes back the next year, pitches 1 1/3 innings, gets hurt, misses more time. This was his first healthy season in a little bit this year. And I guess a cumulative 4.84 ERA is good enough to get you $17 million a year in this economy. Starting pitching is crazy expensive now. Blake Snell gets $36 million a year. I'm doing the math in my head here. 36 million, somewhere around there. 36 million average annual. Again, he was hurt a majority of last season, and of course he's a 2-time Cy Young winner, so he's going to get the payday. But he's been hurt. The only times Blake Snell's crossed 180 innings, everyone knows this stat. Every time Blake Snell crosses the 180 innings mark, he wins Cy Young. The issue is that he's been in the league about 10 years, and he's only won 2 Cy Youngs, which means he's only hit 180 innings twice. He's been in the league we're coming up on 9 years. Actually, that would be 10, wouldn't it? Yeah, he's at 9 years now. He's going to be in the league 10 years come his first season with the Dodgers. And I think he does have, he has one of the highest K per 9 in history. Very cool stats. Blake Snell's baseball reference page is going to look so crazy to people in 20 years. People are going to look back at Blake Snell and be like, what the hell? But as you can see, the only times he's crossed 180 innings, he's won Cy Young. The issue is that, again, he pitched 104 innings this year. He pitched his first ever complete game. Again, he's been in the league 9 years. All right, he's an excellent pitcher. I'm not trying to dig Blake Snell. Of course, you look at the ERA pluses and you'll see a really productive pitcher everywhere he's gone, except for that 1 year in San Diego. But he's been great. It's just he's been injury prone, and he still lands $36 million average annual. I mean, pitching inflation has been crazy. Let me pull up pitching stats from the past few years. From this past year, you'll see that average innings pitched per game started is about 5.2. Pitchers aren't cracking 6 no more. And I'm not an old head. All right, I'm not an old guy who's going to sit here and tell you baseball sucks. Pitchers aren't throwing 13 complete games, per year anymore. They aren't Iron Men. I get it. We aren't in that age anymore. But 5.2 per game started is pretty crazy. And that's why teams are realizing starting pitching is way more valuable. You need innings eaters, a ton of them. And you saw it in the playoffs too, to be honest. I was unable to find the exact number or the amount of innings pitched per start in the playoffs, but I can't imagine it was anything higher than 5. Pitching was at a premium, and you constantly saw rotating bullpens where it would be 5 innings of a starter and then immediately right into the bullpen. Or what else was happening in the playoffs was you'd see things like, a guy's cruising into 5 or he's cruising into the 6th. Then all of a sudden he gets dinged for about a 4 spot. Things go ugly quick in the playoffs. And teams have realized that, again, they just need more guys who can eat those innings. That's why I think, the Yankees might even keep around Marcus Stroman. You need innings eaters. Yusei Kikuchi got what's that, 21 a year? 21 a year for Yusei Kikuchi, who's had a half a good season. We can pull up Yusei Kikuchi. I'll do that. But I can confidently tell you he's been in the league 6 years. and he's had one good year, and it was a half a season. I mean, a 1.11 ERA plus with Toronto in 2023 isn't bad. However, 147 ERA plus in Houston, that's the best he's ever looked, and it was for 60 innings. How many times do you think he crossed 6 innings in his starts with Houston? Take a good guess, and I'll pull it up. All right, if you have a guess formulated in your head, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times since joining Houston, and that's really good, obviously. But you'd see things like, 4 earned runs against Arizona. He was just eating innings there. But you have a guy like Yusei Kikuchi, who, like I said, has really only had about 1.5 good seasons in 6 years in the league, and all you see is just kind of potential out of him. Throws hard, has a nice secondary. He's not, his pitch repertoire is good. But you look at the statistics that he's put out, and you don't see incredible pitcher. However, $21 million a year would tell you elite pitcher. You know what I mean? We are in pitchflation. The other one was Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd just sat here and got $15 million a year, basically. And Matt Boyd threw 39.2 innings this year. He threw 40 innings. 40 innings. And the year before that, when he pitched 71, he was terrible. All right, Matt Boyd's been good in the past, but never for long stretches. I mean, I'm pretty sure he came out of the bullpen in Seattle. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mariners fans. I'm pretty sure he might have came out of the bullpen in Seattle. How many starts? It's none. Yeah, pretty sure he came out of the bullpen. And in Cleveland, he looked better. Don't get me wrong, a 1.51 ERA plus is still a really good season. However, it's only 40 innings, and you were willing to give him $15 million a year for 40 innings. Again, I'm not critiquing the front offices. I'm just kind of pointing and laughing about how crazy inflation is on pitchers. I'm sorry, Aroldis Chapman 10.75 is a lot of money for not a closer. He's not a closer. He can't do that. It's a lot of money for a guy who A, doesn't close, and B, statistically isn't that good either. Of course, Aroldis Chapman's had his good years in the past, but you'd see a 1.11 ERA plus with Pittsburgh. And he wasn't a closer. Again, he couldn't close games. He had 14 saves, but it was because it was a rotating door in Pittsburgh between him and Bednar, who could shit the bed worse. No offense, Pirates fans, but Bednar was bad this year, and so was Aroldis, realistically, for long stretches. And he just got $10.5 million. I don't know what to tell you, man. Pitching inflation is going crazy. Now, the Luis Severino deal is really interesting to me because now I sit back and I look at the A's saying that they want to get their payroll over $100 million. Who are we giving it to? Are they going to be big players for like Anthony Santander? Are they going to be big players I don't know. Who else could they really go after? As we see, the top 2 catchers that were in free agency already left the market. Higgy got a 2-year deal with Texas. Jonah Heim wasn't that good last year, so it's nice to have a good little platoon bat who can hit with him because Austin Hedges was with them for a little while. He can't hit. And I don't even think they had a clear-cut backup last year behind Heim, who was just having a bad year. And Travis D, again, the retirement angels, I don't even know what to say about them. They brought in the retirement home. But who would the A's be targeting now if they're really looking to get that payroll up? Are they a Christian Walker team? They didn't get much first base production, I don't think, did they? Maybe they're a Pete Alonso contender. I don't know what they're looking at is the issue. I don't know. I'm looking at somebody like Gleyber Torres, and I wonder what his market is. I tried to look into it yesterday, and you'd see like the top landing spots for him, people predicting what the best landing spots for Gleyber would be. But there's spots where, to be honest, I'd be kind of worried for him. The Mariners was one of them that I looked at, and the Mariners didn't have a good second base production last year. Jorge Polanco had a bad year with them, but would Gleyber Torres be better? No offense to Gleyber Torres, but he didn't shine in the first half of 2024, and in the back half he became kind of a slap hitter, and the Mariners don't really like slap hitters. They want power. Gleyber Torres ain't a power guy. That's why I kind of projected him to go to the Reds. Johnny India just got traded for Brady Singer. Not just, it happened a while ago. Gleyber might go to the Reds because now they have an open second base spot. However, they do have them young infielders, Encarnacion Strand, Noelvi Marte. Where are those guys going to play? Are the A's a Willy Adames club? I don't know. I don't see a 29-year-old. Why? That's the issue. Is like, I don't think they're really close to winning. I love Lawrence Butler. I think he's really good, and obviously Brent Rooker was one of the best hitters in MLB this year. But I don't think that they can sit here and add like a Willy Adames type and be like, all right, we're a playoff team now. No. And then you paid Luis Severino top dog money over. I mean, he got more than Kikuchi, or not. Yeah, he got close to what Kikuchi did. And Sevy, again, he had a bounce back year last year, but it wasn't like the most elite season I've ever seen out of a pitcher. You know what I mean? I mean, the A's could target like a Gleyber Torres, but Zach Geloff, I thought that was their guy. He had a down year last year. I still kind of believe in Zach Geloff, but if they want a Gleyber Torres, they can definitely take a swing at him. Third base, again, it's just they're hitting and their pitching is kind of just not good. So I keep wondering why now? Like I said, I like Lawrence Butler. I like Brent Rooker. I like what JJ Bleday did. Their pitching is still kind of rough. You brought in Severino, who's not really an ace, and now I wonder what you're planning. Shane Langoliers had a decent year with them, so they don't really need catcher. Not a decent year. He had an all right year. Maybe I don't know, because they're not ready to win right now. They could bring in a guy like Alex Bregman, but it would make no sense. They're not ready to win right now. Who realistically could fit that timeline of winning in like 3 to 4 years? I don't see them winning next year. I don't. I'm looking through it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who could the A's theoretically, or who could the A's realistically sign out of this group? I mean, we could look at pitch. Like I said, maybe they're a Santander team, but even then, he's 30. And you already have a DH in Brent Rooker. Santander, I think he'll be a future DH. He's not the best outfielder already. And once he gets older, you give him a 6-year deal or whatnot. Eventually, he's not going to be the best. He might just be a bad fielder by the end of that deal. And you already have a DH in Brent Rooker. Max Kepler's sneaky 32. My God. I don't think they're a Corbin Burns team. I saw San Francisco's in on him. That'd be a good move for the Giants. They lose. They continually just keep being like the bait, and people use them for leverage. And I kind of feel bad. Players use them for leverage by saying, yeah, I'm just going to take this deal with the Giants. And then, it forces, the owner of the team that they actually want to be on to up their offer. Aaron Judge did it. Some other guys have done it. It's, maybe he's using it for leverage, but I don't see it. I can see Corbin Burns actually signing there because they've done a good job cleaning up pitchers over the last few years. I think about how well they fixed up Kevin Gausman. Plus maybe San Francisco is a good place for Corbin Burns. We've seen his K per 9 go down, and San Francisco is pretty pitcher friendly. So maybe that is a good signing destination for Corbin Burns. But if we're talking about the A's, I don't know what I see here for anybody. Max Fried had a meeting with the Yankees, I think I saw, someone like that, or Fenway, maybe it was the Red Sox. I don't remember. He had a meeting with a couple of people. Nate Eovaldi, I saw someone pin around the idea of Nate Eovaldi to the Braves. I don't hate it. Braves do a good job at bringing in kind of not washed up. Eovaldi's not washed, but just older pitchers, injury history. I'm thinking Chris Sale, Damn, that really fits. Former Red Sox. TJ, arm injuries out the ass. And, almost a side. Well, Chris Sale obviously had better years, but, Eovaldi's 2023 was really good. He was a Cy Young contender. So are they a Jack Flair? I don't even think they're going to sign a starting pitcher if they just got Sevy. I just don't know. Passan said that they're looking to up their payroll into the 100 million range. Who are you going to get? Are you going to be the team to bring in a Corbin Burns, or are you willing to throw a bag at Santander? I don't know. And like I said, they're not ready to win right now. I don't look at the Oakland A's and think, yeah, they're a team that's going to win this division. I just don't. I see better teams than them in that division. I still think Houston's got them. I think the Angels, with the signings that they've got, you can make an argument the Angels will be there. You can make the argument that obviously the Mariners are going to be good. Their pitching is going to carry them. If they could figure out how to hit, that's a dangerous team. And then Texas is coming off a World Series hangover year. They might have a big respond year, So I don't know. I don't see Oakland as like this scary team. I just don't. In all fairness, I really didn't think the Mets were going to be the team to re-sign Luis Severino once he declined the qualifying option. I just kind of thought it was free market, so I really didn't think it was going to be the Mets to bring him back, in all fairness. But man, I really didn't expect to be Oakland, and I don't know if there was any bidding war. You know what I mean? I don't think there was a bidding war for Luis Severino. I don't think they got beat out by anybody. That's just how much that they paid just off the muscle. You know, they just paid that money right off the muscle. And yeah, I really don't think, can I read this passing article? I really don't think that they were being outbid by anybody. A 3.91 ERA and 182 innings. I mean, it's durable. 182 innings is really good, but a 3.91, I'm not going to sit here and write home, and you know what I mean? It's a good comeback here, but it's not really elite. Of course, it is their highest pay of anybody. You know, their last one was Eric Chavez in 04, $66 million. That's embarrassing. He declined 1 year, 25. Yeah, that's the qualifying offer, simply because he wanted long-term, and I understand wanting long-term. That definitely makes sense. But they went 69 and 93 last year, so they had cast a wide net among free agent pitchers looking to fill out their rotation. It's just, why? I don't know why. See, I'm reading through some comments in a Reddit post underneath, and the Sacramento Athletics plan to spend money increasing their payroll to about $100 million, keeping the Owners and Players Association off their back with the revenue sharing money they receive. So it was basically just to spend money so that way they don't get disqualified from revenue sharing. Yeah, it's a terrific reason to spend. I don't know, man. What do you guys think about this down in the comments? I'm so confused, and I just don't know what to say. And while we sit here and we discuss other rumors in free agency, Jeff Passan also reported there's a possibility that Juan Soto's next offer could be in the $750 million for 15 years range. Please give me a break. I love Juan Soto. I really do. He's such a talented baseball player. You know, on-base king, hit 40 homers this year, was literally one of like 2 engines to the Yankees offense. But 750, more than Shohei, I'm sorry. It just feels wrong. I know Boris and Soto are kind of just in it for the money. That's been made clear. But 750 for a non-Soto or for non-Ohtani player just doesn't feel right. Soto is great at what he does. He mashes. He gets on base really well. He's awesome for team chemistry. But he doesn't field well, and he definitely doesn't run well. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of money, and it's to the point where me as a Yankees fan, I sit back and I go, how much is too much? You know what I mean? How much is too much? Because the one thing he promised Soto, the one thing I think Steinbrenner and Cashman promised in their pitch to Soto was roster improvements coming with Juan Soto if he were to re-sign. How much roster improvement can you get when you're spending $750 on one guy? I don't know what the Yankees' budget is, of course, with the revenue sharing. They get the biggest piece of pie, rightfully so. But $750 just feels like maybe too much. And if a Boston or the Dodgers probably, I don't even know if the Dodgers would do $750. It'd probably just be the Mets and the Yankees or the Red Sox. And if the Red Sox want to get in on that $750, I mean, they can go ahead. Like I said, he's a terrific player, but there's so many holes in both the Yankees and the Red Sox roster where it's like, yeah, you can give him 15 for $750, but in the Red Sox case, you still have no bullpen. Bringing in Aroldis Chapman does not figure out the bullpen. He is not legit. I'm sorry, he's not a closer either. And then on top of that, if you're the Yankees, you obviously have trouble with infield fielding, kinda. They don't have a second baseman, clear cut right now, unless Chisholm were to move back, but who do you put at third in that case? And then on top of that, outfield defense was atrocious last season, and it just makes me wonder, realistically, if you spend $750 on one player, can you really go out there and improve your roster in other aspects? You're going to have to throw out some lowball deals. And throwing out lowball deals just isn't going to get you paid, isn't going to get you players. Players want paychecks, and I get that. Now, obviously, they want the money. The Soto-Boris combo, they want the money. But also, I think there's going to be some opt-out nonsense going on in here. Who gives him the best opt-out position? I think after like 6 years might be appropriate. But there's rumors that he wanted out after 3. If you're the Yankees, Honestly, I'd probably give him the opt-out after 3, because if you're looking to win now, Judge's prime is right now. He's going to 31, I believe, and then Garrett Cole is 35 or some shit. Your win now mode is here. Your window, championship window, is starting. It started. It started last season, the year before that even. It started. So realistically, after the 4 years, even after 3 years, if you still haven't won with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge after 3 years, and Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon and all these guys, do you really want to keep pushing it anyways? Do you want 5 more years of it when Aaron Judge is, going to age 40? You know what I mean? Do you want to push Garrett Cole to 40 years old? I don't think so. And so it's like, I would be okay with giving him an opt-out after 4 years, because your window is not that big. And even if you think it is 5-6 years, I'll guarantee you by the 5th or 6th year, you're going to have to make some big adjustments if you still haven't won. Again, you look at the 750 that he wants, and you just think you could spread that out, pick up a Christian Walker, who's a Gold Glove caliber defender, and on top of that is a decent bat. And then, of course, you have, you could bring in, you could even re-sign Gleyber Torres with that money. I wouldn't. No offense to Gleyber, but the defense is so bad for the Yankees right now. You need to bring in somebody that has a better glove than Gleyber. As much as I really do appreciate Gleyber Torres, second base defense was bad for him last year. I don't think they'd be, if you want to bring in Adames, you'd be moving him to third and then move Chisholm to second. That'd make your infield more athletic. It definitely would. And I'd be all in favor for that. If you just want to bring in a third baseman, bring in Alex Bregman, I don't know if I'd be in favor of that. I know I compared it to Wade Boggs in an early video, a guy who played for a division rival that you really didn't like, that signs with the Yankees anyways and has success. It's kind of like Wade Boggs, but except I just don't see it. I see him declining. His power numbers aren't really there, in my opinion. And over the last recent few years, he's become kind of a Crawford box merchant. And I know there's a short porch in left field at Yankee Stadium, but I don't see 34, 35-year-old Alex Bregman, still being as productive as he is today. And he's a guy who's looking for a long-term deal as well. He asked for 11 years, dude. So, everyone is looking for a big bag. I'm not sure many guys are going to get exactly what they're looking for. I'm looking at some of the pitcher salaries from 2023, just as a reminder. And I'm comparing where Yusei Kikuchi would land. Kikuchi would be paid more than Charlie Morton would have, and more than Joe Musgrove by about $1 million. And Yusei Kikuchi is, I don't know if I'd say he's on par with those two. I mean, it's pretty close, definitely. I'd go as far as to say that. But Charlie Morton got a long-term deal just because of what he has been in the past. And then Joe Musgrove it's not really fair to compare Joe Musgrove. He came back from an injury, then got injured again. That's not his fault. But, I mean, you look at what pitcher salaries are like, and my God, even the qualifying offer being $21 million is a lot of money. We talked about Severino declining the qualifying offer of $21 million. That is serious money to walk away from, and he ended up getting more. I really didn't think he'd be getting more on an average annual basis, but he did. And that's just incredible job by his agency. But he'd be getting paid more than Stroman. That's fine. 2024 salary list, he'd be getting paid close to Luis Castillo money, and Castillo might get moved as well. I hope he gets moved at least. But it's just, pitchers are expensive today, and it's clear that it's the most valuable position in baseball. Pitchers are hurt more often than I think any other position is. And on top of that, you see arm fatigue. Something as small as a blister can take a pitcher out of a start. So you need to have people prepared for it. Hence why I'm so in favor of the Yankees making a move for a Max Fried or something, because then it can push Nestor Cortez to a long relief. And I don't really want Nestor Cortez on my team, but however, in a long relief role, it can't be that bad. The point earlier about the A's and signing somebody that fits their timeline, but Sevy's 30, so I mean, do they care? Do they have a timeline in their headset? I don't know. I don't think so at this point. And just how pitchers are being paid this offseason is so fascinating. Like I said, Matt Boyd threw 40 innings and got $15 million a year, basically. That is an absurd number for Matt Boyd. And then Frankie Montas getting $17 million. Again, the Frankie Montas deal, this was one where it was kind of random. I didn't think the Frankie Montas deal would be very hot, So I was surprised when like Cohen and Stearns is a notorious dumpster diver, but I was surprised when Stearns and Cohen decided to jump on him like almost right away, for 17 million. Again, he didn't throw that productive last year. It's not like this guy threw big, great innings. He's just an arm. He's an arm. He's durable for the most part, except when he was a Yankee. Yeah, I know, doesn't that make sense? But he's got a good arm. He throws kind of hard, but people have been looking to unlock him for a few years. Hasn't worked out. Maybe Stearns can do it. He usually does well. It seems like wherever Stearns goes, a good pitching development team follows him. So maybe they can turn this thing around. But it's almost like they put a thumbtack on Frankie Montas, though, when free agency started. Kind of like a way to be like, yeah, we want this guy. And that's just so random. But obviously, like I said, starting pitching is at a premium. And I can't wait to see, man, like I said, if Luis Severino's getting $22 million a year, basically, and Yusei Kikuchi's getting 21 a year, and Matt Boyd's getting 15. Matt Boyd getting 15 million for 40 innings pitched is still insane to me, but I'm just in awe. And honestly, I'm curious as to what Corbett Burns' deal is going to look like if you have Yusei Kikuchi and Luis Severino cracking 21 million average. I don't know, man. I'm just fully confused. Juan Soto, this Juan Soto thing, I'm trying to pay attention to that, but also tabs on everybody else. It's kind of difficult, don't get me wrong. Like even the Pirates just hired a new pitching coach yesterday, something like that. Brent Strom. Weird one. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Luis Severino signing to the Sacramento A's. Sacramento A's. Sacramenteverino? I don't know. Severino, Sacramento? I don't know. There's got to be something there. But I'm going to go catch the game. See you guys in the next one.